What really happened to my once thriving Roselle plants? The devastation was clear. Limbs stripped bare, buds scattered across the garden floor. With emotions running high, my initial reaction was pure shock and disbelief. But little did I know that an investigation had already been set in motion, and the evidence that would crack the case wide open was quietly waiting for me on 24-hour surveillance. It started when I walked into the garden, excited to check on my Roselle bushes, plants that have been growing beautifully all season. But what I found left me reeling. My Roselle plants were ravaged, looking like they've been through a mini hurricane. Was it an act of nature? Vandalism? Something more sinister? In the midst of my frustration, I had forgotten that I had set up surveillance cameras covering the back garden. While my initial emotional reaction clouded my thinking, the forensic team was right on the case, pulling up video footage that could reveal the perpetrator, the timeline of clues. 2:08 p.m., the landscaper arrives, meticulously cutting the lawn and cleaning up around the garden beds. Everything looks fine. No sign of destruction. 4:14 p.m., the surveillance captures a squirrel climbing up to the sweet feeder, stealing food. Could this be a clue? 6:09 p.m., two squirrels appear on camera, frolicking on the lawn and darting through the garden beds. They seem playful, innocent, but could they be responsible for more than just harmless fun? With every frame, the pieces of the puzzle were slowly coming together. Could the real culprits be the squirrels we had dismissed as harmless garden visitors? As we zoomed in on the footage, things began to make sense, but we weren't quite there yet. What the evidence tells us. From the scattered buds to the snapped limbs, the video footage clearly showed something happening after the landscaper left. Were the squirrels the real suspects all along? The forensic analysis of the evidence and witness testimony. Yes, I mean the birds flying around nearby, minding their own business, led us to some unexpected conclusions. Stay tuned as we unravel the mystery once and for all. Will the squirrels return to the scene of the crime? We have set up more cameras, so we won't want to miss this investigation. At first, all eyes were on the squirrels. The forensic team pored over footage, noting their suspicious activity, scurrying across the garden, frolicking near the Roselle bushes, and stealing sweet from the feeder. These crafty creatures seemed to be everywhere, and it looked like we had found our culprits. With their constant darting around and sneaky behavior, the squirrels became the prime suspects. We had a breakthrough. The investigation took a decisive turn the next day when we reviewed the footage from October the 9th. At 8:02 a.m., the true scale of their devastation was revealed. The forensic team sifted through hours of footage, piecing together small clues. Squirrels scurrying across the lawn, making fleeting appearances on the fence, but nothing substantial. There were frequent visitors, but not yet the prime suspects. It was the viewing of video footage from October the 9th when we finally hit pay dirt. The video evidence was undeniable. The camera caught them red-handed. Not just a single squirrel, but an entire army descended on my once thriving Roselle bushes. The footage was shocking. They descended in a group, leading a parade of destruction, systematically tearing down the tender buds and breaking off limbs. They were prepared like a well-trained battalion ready to lay siege on my garden. The once hopeful signs of a bountiful harvest were reduced to tatters in minutes. What began as an investigation into a potential sabotage revealed the true culprits. It was a heart-wrenching moment to see them dismantle the Roselle piece by piece. They weren't just passing through, they had come with intent, with purpose, and in full force. As the evidence poured in, the jury was presented with the complete case. It was a mastermind operation as they laid waste to the Roselle bushes that had promised a season of abundance. We have handed over the video footage for the jury to make their decision. Now for the final verdict. After careful review of the evidence, it's clear the squirrels are guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. With their quick movements and relentless energy, they launched a coordinated attack on the Roselle bushes. They stripped petals, chewed through branches, and left behind a scene of destruction. What we initially thought might have been another culprit was in fact an operation carried out entirely by these persistent garden thieves. They orchestrated the Great Roselle Destruction, leaving behind a wake of chaos and heartbreak. Their verdict: guilty of garden sabotage. Now, with this verdict in hand, the question remains, what will be done to protect the remaining crops? Stay tuned for the next chapter, where we will take measures to safeguard the garden against these relentless invaders. Here at Greener Acres Garden Oasis, it's Gago. Gardening always, growing on. Stay tuned for more updates from Gago.